everybody's talking about AI in all kinds of life situations. And of course, it's also really impacting the learning and development area in HR, in corporations. How is it changing the world of learning and development that we now have access to AI?
So the tech is at this level. So the tech is rapidly accelerated beyond what we can actually foresee. The tech is even faster than what the headlines are suggesting. And yet, for the everyday person, and then especially for the learning development professional, we're moving at a much slower rate, much slower than what the headlines are suggesting. So when you're seeing things about what's new and what's being replaced and what's coming, actually, we're not really there. So that's the interesting thing that I would say. And maybe I would say this. I tell people who get worried, I'm like, oh, don't worry, you're not behind. Everybody's behind. But at the same turn, I will also strongly say, like, you better step up because the pace is getting quicker, and we have an ability to contribute more by benefiting from some of the efficiencies with AI.
So I heard you say that you think that in L&D, we're actually even more behind than in other areas. Why is that? What do you think is holding us back in L&D?
So I've seen this as a systemic challenge throughout the decades. I saw this from a marketing standpoint with marketing technologies, and I saw that learning development developed use cases and implemented technology 8 years later for the exact same tech. 8 years later. And I was really hoping it wasn't for learning development into AI, but I'm definitely seeing the lag. I think it's many reasons why, but in other industries, there is more of a push towards test and learn. There's budgets to support that. There's more data driven inherent in the nature of that. There's a lot of data in marketing, for example. That's the role. And then thirdly, the reason is that we feel like we're people. So we actually like to interact with the human connections. Like, oh, we don't define our personas on how we're using technology. And other industries somewhat do. There's more integration of technology always. There always has been. There's been more data always. It's been always been more about whatever the business goals are. Okay, let's sell more, let's ship more, let's drive margins more. That's always been inherent in a lot of the other functions, which have always embraced technology more. And we're definitely seeing this. If I compare marketing to learning development, there's a pretty big gap there. And that's exciting because it means as learning development professionals, we have an ability to up our game. And these are things that have already been proven. And this is ability for us to shine.